if I was to only keep 100 single eyeshadows, which eyeshadows? I know what you're thinking, 100 eyeshadows is a lot of single eyeshadows. Yes, it is, but I have over 1200 single eyeshadows. So for me to narrow it down to the top 100 single eyeshadows is kind of a big deal. So that's why I really wanted to do this video, because I'm going to be picking my absolute favorite 100 eyeshadows from my entire single eyeshadow collection. So the way I'm going to go about this is I'm first going to pretty much go through every magnetic palette, and I'm going to pick out my absolute best shades, and then however many slots I have left, fill those in after. But I first want to go in and just really snipe those like top favorite creme de la creme single eyeshadows that I just really would 100% want to have in my collection. So let's jump right into it. And some of these were sent to me in PR, and some of them I purchased, and I will be excluding any matte eyeshadows. We're only here for the super beautiful shimmer shadows. So this is my Spicy Neutrals empty palette. This is from Adept Cosmetics. It's a really big one, and there is quite a few shades missing from here because they have been redistributed into specifically, for example, Terra Moons, because I did that whole huge swatch video of Terra Moons eyeshadows. So those are missing from here, but this is my Spicy Neutrals. Also, my Clionadh shades are not in this one, which I need to make sure to definitely add those back in. So these are really, honestly, I would just keep all of these. I mean, these are all just really beautiful shades. There are some shades that are really similar to each other, specifically between ShineBySD and Glaminatrix Cosmetics, which I did do a video where I compared those similar shades. So I would definitely want to keep Fireworks from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. It is just such a beautiful topper shadow. It has blue, pink flecks throughout it with just a little bit of a base. So this one is just like a great everyday kind of eyeshadow. So definitely would want to keep this one. Next one, of course, this is Stunner from ShineBySD. I have talked at length about how much I love this eyeshadow, so it is an absolute must. I lowered the camera so that we can have a closer look at some of these shades. So next, I definitely would want one of these kind of more purpley kinds of shades. So this is Chameleon from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. Then we have Confetti from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and then Tease from ShineBySD, and then Twinkling from ShineBySD. And I feel like these all look a little bit similar to each other, so I'm thinking maybe just to kind of, I feel like definitely gonna have to start swatching things. Ooh. I feel like this one, no, that's actually a different kind of tone. Okay, this one is much more icy than it leads on to be in the pan. I mean, ideally, I would just keep all of these. Okay, I really definitely want Confetti from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, which is this one. And then I do feel like these two are pretty similar, so I'm gonna hold off on some of these other shades. I mean, I have 100 slots, you know, left, so I mean, I have quite a bit. This is Sparkle, and then I definitely want Skink. I need to figure out, so I don't think Skink is in here, but that's definitely another shade that I will want to keep. So then some of these other shades are kind of like, this one's a little bit green, also very sheer, very light sparkle. I'm gonna put that one aside. That one is called Glow Up, and it's from ShineBySD. What is this one called? Lavish. I feel like Lavish is gonna be a little bit similar to some of these purple shades. And then I do think I want Celebration from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. It's a really nice neutral. It really does not want to focus. I think I have to remove the empty palette, unfortunately. So, okay, so right now I have 5 shades. Okay, here is Party from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. Ooh, that one is so pretty too. It is kind of similar to this one though. Maybe not that one, but I feel like I want to come back to this and fill in some areas potentially, but I kind of want to give myself some space. I do want this one from Devinah. This is Ice Phantom. It is just such a beautiful, it's just such a beautiful neutral, a little bit more subdued kind of shade, but it has a lot of dimensionality in it, which is what I really like about it. Next up are my Oden's Eye singles, and I feel like from these I definitely want to keep Leon. I mean, love Leon, even though it creases on me. It's not ideal. I feel like these are going to be some filler shades as well, though I do really like this one because it is pretty dimensional, more sheer like, not as squishy. But I feel like these I'm gonna come back to once I know, like once I have my core X amount. Next up, these are the newest shades from Devinah, and I really enjoy these a lot. So I definitely want to keep this shade, Lightning Moss, so beautiful. And then also for sure Ashen Halo. Literally looks like a coin. And then let's see, I really love just all of these, but I feel like some of them are really similar. So let's see, I definitely want to keep Sinful Lace. I love the tone of this one. And then maybe one of these kind of mocha moussey shades. I feel like this one's nice and a little bit just slightly more mocha type of shade, Velvet Sin. So I'm going to keep these for now from this collection, but I'm definitely going to come back to these as well. Jumping straight into Terra Moons, these are the greens. And obviously my selection is going to be very heavily based on my preferences, which is non-flaky shades. So you probably won't see me picking out any flaky shades. I may make a couple exceptions potentially. I do have my eye on this one, Moon Mist. It's such a beautiful minty green. It's a little bit more pastel and has blue sparkles throughout it. And it's just so, so pretty. I feel like I see a little bit of pink as well in there. It is just ultra sparkly. The next shade is Supernova. I just think this one is super, super unique. Would this be a shade that I use a lot? Probably not, but it is a stunner and I love it. I feel like it's pretty unique. I really like Sea of Stars as well. This is just such an ultra metallic. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going with this one. It has a little bit of green with a plum base. It is so, so stunning. I definitely want one of these greens. For example, I believe this one is M51. Love that one. Actually, yeah, let me pull M51. I'm not sure if this one is still available or not. And then I do also really like Cosmic Dancer. And it's a little bit different. It's more blue than green, but they do have like a similar base to them. Next up are these Terra Moon shades, and definitely the ones that really stand out to me are these ones right here. So Twinkle Dust and Counting the Cosmos. Let me see if I want both of them or if I just kind of want, oh, they're kind of, I mean, they're similar, but they're different. I'm going to put aside Twinkle Dust because this one is actually kind of similar to Sea of Stars, but a little bit less sparkly and a little bit lighter in tone. And then as for some of these other shades, I do want one of these kinds of purples. I do really enjoy these kinds of purples, so love this one. I do have some Clionadh ones that are very similar, so I might actually opt for those. Stellar Evolution is a really beautiful kind of spicy neutral, so I'm going to put that one aside. Definitely want to keep that one. I think I'm going to come back to this. Next up, Terra Moon's pinks and reds and peaches. Definitely Haley's Comet. I mean, that one literally probably one of the first shades I would think of when I think of Terra Moons as one of my favorites. So absolutely keeping that one for sure. As for these others, oh, there's so many beautiful options. I feel like this one right here, I think it's Gemini, is very unique. But I wish it had maybe just a little bit more shine to it. I do really like the dimensionality of this one right here. Ooh, I think I might pull this one, Lunar Cycle. The other shade I thought of when I decided I wanted to do this video is Ripple in Time. It is so sparkly. I'm not really a huge fan of pinks, but this is a pink that I like. I also really like the shade next to it because it is super shifty, called Astrofall. And I'm actually having a hard time deciding. I think I want Astrofall. It's a little bit more unique. The other shades I would totally pick are like Venus. It's just a staple kind of shade, everyday kind of shade. I think I'm going to pick the dupe from Clionadh for that one. On to the blurples, purples, and some blues and teals. I think the one that kind of stands out for me is Ice Rings. I think it's a nice kind of a little bit more icy. I think I like this one. I'm going to put that one aside. I really like this shade as well. What is this one called? Moonshine. It is super, super pretty. But I'm not sure. I feel like the other shade gives me kind of a similar vibe. So I think that's kind of it from here. This one does have predominantly darker shades in here, which is not just something I gravitate towards. Actually, I am wrong. I absolutely have to pick Reign of Terra. I mean, this is one of the like OG favorite shades from Terra Moons. Absolutely need to keep that one. The other shade that I really like is Moontide as well. But oh yeah, okay, definitely keeping Moontide. So I've been going palette by palette, which is exactly what I didn't want to do. I wanted to go in first and pick my absolute 100% for sure shades. So let me go back to doing that. I definitely want Haze of the Moon. That is an absolute must. And that is this one right here. Love that one. So dimensional. And then some of these other shades, I definitely have some other shades from here that I really like. This one is technically cheating. This is Solar Wave. It's from the Space Chemistry palette, and I have it in here, but I'm cheating and I'm keeping that one because I love it. It's so beautiful. Getting into my Clionadh shades. So definitely want to keep Opulent for sure, as well as Gargoyle Light for sure, Masonry as well, and then these two spicy neutrals, Alloy and Exothermic. Love them so much. Amazing everyday kind of neutrals. Keeping those for sure. Would definitely want to have Royal Pear in my top 100 lineup. As for some of these other shades, this one is called Electron. Definitely want that one as well. And I do really like this newer shade from them, Celadon. I don't think it is quite yet been decided if it is permanent or not, but I do really like it. So I'm going to put that one aside. And also, of course, this is Ferric. How could I forget Ferric? As for some of these other shades, I definitely want Calligraphy. Again, this is one of those shades that is not yet permanent, but potentially could be. And then definitely want Orchard as well. I feel like this one is so unique. And then Aurate as well. Love this one. And then Archway. Gotta have that one as well. This is a bunch of shades that I pulled for recommending based on color. So these are obviously already kind of pre-chosen for me. I definitely want this one as well, called Scroll. Love the peachy orangey tone of that one. And then this one is another great spicy neutral. This is Entropy. So definitely wanting that one. Love Saffron. Definitely putting that one aside as well. And Bronze Fountain, because it is just super unique. And then the next shade is this one, which I can never remember the correct pronunciation of. More Clionadh shades, so definitely would want Vault. Love that one so much, as well as Vineyard. Gotta have Mural. Love Mural. Also Hilt. Love this one. One of my favorite versions of this shade. I also really do like Tessera, so would keep that one. And then Solarium as well. Next up is this shade, which is a deep iridescent multi-chrome. I mean, just look at it. It is so glowy, so beautiful. As for the jeweled lights, I definitely want Burnish Light and Sand Blast Light. Love these. Next, some shades from Devinah. Definitely Ember Rain. Love that one. And also Mystic Moon Pie, as well as Moonlit. And of course, I need my Messier. And I really love Thetis. I think it's super unique. And I definitely want Frozen Waves. Almost at 60, so I have to start being a bit more selective. So definitely want Saltwater Pearl. I'm cheating with this one a little bit. This is technically not a single eyeshadow. It is from their Deep Sea Treasures palette. And then definitely Duke is an absolute must. And also Glacier's Mark, because I would want to make sure I have a shade like this that's like a blue pink purple duochrome type of shade. I think the other shade I really like is Line of Queens. I'm definitely putting that one aside. So now I'm at 60. Okay, so I have 30 more. And I have quite a bit of few eyeshadow palettes to go through. These are some of my Touch of Glam eyeshadows. These are the unnamed collection predominantly. And these have such a spectacular underrated formula. They are just so metallic. I kind of stopped swatching. So let me get on the swatches. I mean, look at that. And I definitely would want, I think this one, because it just stands out. This is the 19th. And then they also have really beautiful iridescence. Oh, I like that one a lot. Definitely putting Lucid Lavender aside. Love this one. It's such a beautiful signature kind of shade. As for some of these other ones, let me swatch this one. This one is called 32nd, the one that stands out the most. Back real quick to Terra Moons. I definitely would want to keep Dorado. It is such a stunning, super vibrant shade. Also really like Pink Cello, so I'm gonna pull that one aside. Next up are some Dualism Beauty shadows. I believe some of these neutrals that are hollow, I don't think that these are available anymore, I believe. But they are so beautiful. I'm gonna pull aside the shade Copper. It is just, I mean, look at this level of sparkle. It is so beautiful. Next up are the non-shifty shades from Terra Moons. And from these, oh, these are so good. These are all really beautiful. I feel like I've already pulled similar shades to this one. So I'm kind of thinking maybe, where's the Devinah one that I pulled? I feel like this is kind of similar to that. So maybe not this one. I feel like actually, yeah, let's do this one. Though it is kind of similar to this other one that I pulled. But it is just so shiny. As for some of these other shades, I do really like that one, and also really like that one. And this pink, oh, that is so difficult. So these are very miscellaneous shades. There's some Pretties for Your Face, These are singles from Fantasy Cosmetica as well as Dieverune Cosmetics. Definitely from Dieverune Cosmetics. Definitely want, I believe, Necromancer as well as Transmutation are just so amazing. And I do really like this shade as well. This is called Samhain. So I'm definitely putting that one aside as well, because those are just really stunning. And I am at 70 eyeshadows right now. So more Glaminatrix Cosmetics. And this is where I want to keep a lot. First and foremost though, I'm gonna need Skink. Which, where is Skink? This is Skink right here. Yep, this is a must. Love this one. Moving on, I really like this one right here called Komodo because it is much more, it's a little bit more taupey, and I just feel like it's really unique, but it's really smooth and really metallic. Tons of color payoff, so I'm putting that one aside for sure as well. Oh, there's so many in here. I really would want to keep all of them. Next up, Sparkling. This one is the most similar to some of the kind of recent shades, some newer Glaminatrix Cosmetics palettes, though it doesn't have the same level of kind of twinkly, dispersed, topper-like effect. But I like the color. I think it's a great color to have around. As for some of these neutrals, it's really difficult because I feel like I would end up having doubles. I still have to look at all my iridescents, and I feel like the iridescents are going to be 10. So I'm definitely going to go back through all the shades and just kind of sift through them and see if there's any that I'm kind of not as married to as I thought I was. So from ShineBySD, immediately I definitely want to keep So Sweet. I love this shade. It is so ultra beautiful, so pretty. I mean, look at that. It has so much sheen to it. They do purples really well, but it's kind of hard to choose which purple because there's so many to choose from. And or maybe I just kept buying their purples, but I think I'm gonna put aside the shade Flirtatious. That's kind of what I'm thinking, though I do really like this one as well. Glam Rush. Actually, I'm gonna put aside Glam Rush. Let me do that. But as for some of these other shades, it's really hard for me to narrow it down because I feel like I'm at a kind of point where I really need to be calculated. Here is some more Devinah. Definitely want Thusa. I mean, this is such a stunner. Definitely like a shade that I think of as one of my top all-time favorites. I would pick Starfire, but I feel like it's pretty similar to Solarium from Clionadh that I already have pulled out. As for any of these other shades, I feel like those are kind of like the best ones. I do really like this one as well called Winter Moon. This one is really interesting as well. I still have all the iridescents, which some of these iridescents here, I think I'm going to go into the iridescent palette next and just kind of see how many I want to keep from the iridescents. Actually, I lied and I almost forgot about this entire empty palette full of holographic multi-chromes. This is tricky because, okay, definitely Touch of Glam Beauty comes to mind because I think they have some really superior formula of their holochromes. Parallel Realm. Here is Parallel Realm. And then also Hollow Back Girl. Ooh, I like that one. I think, see, I feel like some of their shades have just like a smoother version. Okay, Honey Hollow. Okay, this is the one I was thinking of. Definitely want Honey Hollow. Definitely keeping Honey Hollow. Okay, 2 more slots left before I get into the last 10, which will most likely be predominantly iridescents. So definitely want Bloodhound from Touch of Glam Beauty. This is such a stunning shade. I have to pull this one. It is just otherworldly. As for some of these other shades, they're a little bit too flaky for me to want to put into these top 100. I definitely would, but again, I just find them a little bit harder to use. And because of that, I just gravitate towards some other shades. So that being said, though, this shade right here is actually a real stunner. I Matter. This one is really pretty. I don't know if I would really realistically use a lot of flaky shades. Again, just not my preference. Nothing wrong with them. I totally forgot that I pulled this one off to the side, but this is Sunbeam from Terra Moons. So I have 20 slots left, and I feel like I'm probably gonna pick like 10 iridescents, let's be honest. So these are the treasure chest from ShineBySD, and I think these are mostly going to look very white on camera when they're not, for sure, but definitely one of the first ones I will be picking out is Myrrh I mean, gotta pick Myrrh. I feel like the camera does not want to focus when I have the whole palette down here, unfortunately. But let's see what other ones. I definitely would want some shade that is an orange flashing shade, a pink flashing, purple flashing, green, blue, etc. Really a matter of like which brand do I want to pick from. And also the other factor is of course the finish. I do really, okay, let me open up this palette actually, because this one has Radar from ShineBySD, and it is such a super vibrant iridescent. It is really vibrant. So I think I'm gonna, oh yeah, definitely picking this one. Another shade that definitely comes to mind is Comet Dust. I believe, yes, Comet Dust. This is a newer shade from Terra. Love that one. And then also First Light. I love First Light. I definitely want First Light. Here is First Light. So this one has a blue, and the Comet Dust has kind of like blue, purple, pink. So since I have Radar, which is orangey, I want a red flash. I think the iridescents have got to be just the hardest. Oh my gosh, I can't decide. This is really tough. Of course, I gotta keep Ice Blink from ShineBySD's collaboration with Seeking Shifts, aka Riley. And then, oh my goodness, this is so difficult because I especially love all my iridescents. How much would you guys hate me if I chose 20 iridescent multichromes? Because this is really hard. Okay, I do want like a UV, like a really bright kind of reflecting shade, which I kind of have that a little bit with Myrrh. So far I have pulled 6 iridescents. So I think next, I definitely want Radiance as well. I do love Radiance from Clionadh. I'm gonna put that one aside. And I feel like I need to sit here and do this off camera a little bit. Okay, it's the next day. I went back and revisited a bunch of shades and just really curated it a bit more. I just felt like I had to be off camera to really have time to think some of these through. So here are some shades I will be switching out. Ice Phantom from Devinah. As much as I really like the shade, I think it's really beautiful, I do feel like I opt for just something a bit more sparkly. So I'm going to be moving that one aside to fill with another shade. The other shade I'm going to be replacing is Solar Wave, and I'm going to be replacing it with Sun's Glow from Terra. So this is the shade from the palette, which is technically cheating, so I'm going to replace it with this one. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of a similar idea. Next, I'm going to replace Saltwater Pearl with a shade from Touch of Glam Beauty. This is Ninth. And this one is just so interesting. It's really bright red pink and has a yellow base to it. It's just so beautiful. Next, as much as this pains me, I will be replacing Line of Queens with Stray Cat from Dieverune Cosmetics. Now this shade is a little bit on the squishy side, so I do have to use it carefully and also press a tissue into it, but it is such an interesting shade. I definitely would want to have this one. Next, I'm going to be replacing Glam Rush purely because there's some other shades that I think I prefer to it and definitely would get more use out of. And same with Moontide from Terra. And I'm going to be removing Cesium from Terra because it is very similar with Sinful Lace. It would just be having too many similar shades when I can only keep 100. So next, I do want to put in Akia from Terra. Love the shade so much. Really interesting, kind of a mauvey pink with blue sparkles throughout it. Next up, I really want to decide and only probably keep one shade because these are all very similar. I think the difference is the nuance and the tone of the green as well as the base. So here's Vault, Cosmic Dancer, Sea of Stars. This one is pretty different actually. Gnome from Bella Beaute Bar. Ooh, okay. I feel like these two, I don't know. I feel like I should just keep one. And then M51. I think it's going to be very similar to Gnome. It's a little bit less like vibrantly green and the base is a little bit different. But they are very similar. I feel like I'm gravitating towards one of these two shades just because how smooth they are. And they are more of that like true brown base with a green reflect to it, which is what I'm looking for. Definitely would want to make sure I have one shade like that. I think I'm going to go with Gnome. Next up, these are my final choices for iridescence. We have some ShineBySD, Terra, and then Clionadh. So the main ones from ShineBySD, besides Radar that you saw me pick earlier, I do have Ice Blink, and then I do have 4 of the shades out of the 6 from the original Treasure Pop-Up palette, because they do have a very, very particular texture, which is definitely something I'm looking for, because a lot of these other shades have a like smooth metallic multi-chrome effect versus the ShineBySD shades like this one, which is called Precious, Fortune, and Unstoppable. These are very, very, very piecey and super ultra sparkly, and it's just more of like a sparkle topper. And this is definitely something I would want to make sure I have, where it's like, well, this one's a little bit different, but these two especially are very, very topper like. The other shade I picked is My Life is a Screenshot from Touch of Glam Beauty, because this one is just so many different colorful sparkles throughout it. Starloom, Myrrh, Radiance, Gloaming, Brilliance, Radar, Comet Dust, Lightyear, Terra, Fortune, Facet, UV of course, Light Fast, Star Cut, Unstoppable, Precious, Glit, and then lastly First Light. I have 19 iridescent eyeshadows. I don't want to hear no judgment in the comments. So these two shades are very, very similar. This is Hilt from Clionadh, and this is Lucid Lavender from Touch of Glam Beauty, and they're super, super similar, but this one is, I think, more shiny. Okay, they're just slightly different, but they're super, super similar. So I'm going to keep Lucid Lavender. So here are the options for the other 12. I do want to keep this shade from Bella Beauty Bar. It's called Fire. It's one of our newer shades. I believe it came out. It's one of the single eyeshadows from their Green Goddess collection. And it is just such a great everyday, super shifty kind of multi-chrome that's a little bit more neutral. So I'm going to be keeping that one. Next, I think I'm going to replace Samhain from Dieverune Cosmetics with another shade from either ShineBySD or Glaminatrix Cosmetics, because I do prefer the texture of those just slightly more. So I feel like the shades that will be really similar, kind of some of these over here. But before that, this is Echidna from Devinah Cosmetics. I love this shade, so definitely keeping. It is for sure one of the more flakier types of shades, but it is so beautiful that I will deal with the flakiness for it. So next, I do want to swatch some of the shades I have picked that are more of the neutrals before I pick from these 13. So first up, I do want to compare Sunbeam from Terra to this shade Glow from ShineBySD. I feel like they're kind of similar, so I wouldn't want to kind of pick both of them. So here's Sunbeam and here is Glow. Definitely similar. I think I'm gonna go with Sunbeam. It does have just a little bit more opacity to it, but they are quite similar. I don't think I would want to keep both. So I'm gonna swatch all the neutrals that I have chosen right here, and then I'm just gonna swatch next to them the shades that I'm thinking about. So this is Sinful Lace from Devinah, Lightning Moss from Devinah, Sparkling from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, Skink. I had to remove all the shadows from frame because otherwise my camera does not want to focus. Komodo from Glaminatrix, and Copper from Dualism Beauty. Sugared Spice from Devinah, Seduction's Kiss from Devinah, Bitter Lust from Devinah, Blood and Cocoa from Devinah. Okay, definitely am keeping Sugared Spice, putting that one aside, but I do feel like this one is really similar with this one. And I do think this one is different enough, though it's kind of similar. It's a little bit too similar to the Dualism Beauty shade. I almost forgot Crimson Mocha. I think I'm going to keep Crimson Mocha. Final 7 here. I brought in Baroque from Clionadh Cosmetics. I also brought in Access from Terra, Sparkle from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, Party from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. Brought back Line of Queens because it just tore my heart apart. And then Charm from ShineBySD, as well as Gleam Stream from ShineBySD. Here are all 100 single eyeshadows together in an empty palette. Look at this, a beautiful glory. I did try to kind of do it by color a little bit, but then I kind of just ended up mixing them all together. But I feel like there is maybe a little bit of a theme. I mean, the theme is iridescence, really, truly. But I do like me some of these kind of neutral tones that are a little bit pink leaning, but not overly like bright neon pink. Some more kind of special, interesting kinds of shades popped in here as well. And of course, lots of spicy neutral types of shadows. So now I'm going to show you swatches of all the rows. And that's everything for this video. Let me know what shadows are your must-haves that you would definitely want to keep if you were to have a smaller collection of single eyeshadows. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I will have similar videos up on the screen for you to check out. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.